Hi, and welcome to another Backseat Spook-TACULAR special. I'm your host, Tanner. Joining me and my two talented co-hosts, Derrick and Seth. Today we'll be taking a look at 1978's Halloween, directed by John Carpenter. Enjoy. All right, guys, we're back with another Spook-TACULAR special. Today is a special one. We're taking a look at the classic Halloween, directed by John Carpenter.
The classic.
And how about you tell the people what this classic is all about here?
If you don't already know, I got you. 15 years after murdering his sister on Halloween night 1963, Michael Myers escapes from a mental hospital and returns to the small town of Haddonfield, Illinois to kill again.
Pretty spooky. I'm spooked already. I was spooked. So I guess we'll I'm gonna do my best to just kind of breeze through this movie, because I feel like if you haven't seen it, there's just I just feel like that's not likely. I feel like, so if you haven't seen it, there are spoilers ahead, so be prepared for that. But this was an interesting one. Do you guys have anything before I begin, like the making ofs or anything like that you might know?
I mean, there's all this stuff that, has been discussed widely since this movie came out almost 50 years ago, as far as like the mask itself, right? Being a William Shatner mask that they just painted white. This movie was made for pennies. Even at the time, like $300,000
Yeah,
budget?
325.
Yeah, something around
like
there.
that.
So like they were making it for nothing. Widely, it's one of the most successful indie films of all time. I think it ended up grossing like $40.5 million at the American box office. Like, it was just a juggernaut compared to its budget. And then obviously since then has only gone on to gross so much more money and create a franchise and merchandising. I mean, even the score is the sound of a season at this point. It's iconic.
It's so iconic.
Talking about this, almost 50 years?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Later?
I know John Carpenter got paid $10,000 to not only direct, but write and also score the film, which is incredible. I believe Jamie Lee Curtis got paid about $8,000 for this movie.
It's her debut. Because I like in the credits, in the introductory credits, it's introducing Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I know she had some acting credits before, but it definitely wasn't like a lead thing, I don't think.
But yeah, so she was a newcomer as far as an actress, although she is kind of horror royalty. Her mom was the lead in Psycho. Yeah. So very intentional casting from John Carpenter, because it was like a legacy casting, basically, to kind of, get the Nepo baby. But it's okay. Obviously gone on to have a wonderful career. Oscar winner, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah,
we're talking about here.
so.
So yeah. But yeah, that's all I really have, just like, just how creative they had to get making this film based on their budgetary constraints and the speed at which it was created too. I mean, it was made very fast.
Don't know his name, but the guy that plays Michael Myers, I heard that he got paid like $25 a day.
Jeez.
And this was only filmed for a little over like 20 days.
Yeah, crazy.
That's insane, man.
I was like, maybe I should just kill these people.
That's crazy. Well, I'll go ahead and jump right into it. First thing we see is a young Michael that goes right into his POV of him outside of his house, goes up to a window and sees his sister and presumably her boyfriend fooling around on the couch. They head upstairs to do the nasty. And young Michael goes into the kitchen, grabs a knife, and it's all kind of going slowly, but still within that, he goes towards the stairs of the house, and the dude's already leaving.
Yeah, I wanted to say
crazy.
Bit of a one pump chump, if you will. Guy was in and out.
Could have potentially saved his life though.
Oh, like, for sure.
Does Michael kill both of them if they're still in there? Does he wait till he leaves or any point, whenever that is? I don't know. Either way, that may or may not have saved his life being so quick. Either way, he heads up to his sister's room upstairs, sees his sister, and she's kind of like, kind of freaked out. Like, Michael, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, she's also naked too. So,
she's like just like brushing her hair or whatever. And then Michael starts slashing away, just like you guys should be slashing away at that like and subscribe button. And the cool thing is with this shot was when he was slashing at first, and it like the camera kind of turns towards him like his knife,
Right.
and I thought that was like a very cool intentional shot, you know, of that, because it was like almost Michael just like admiring like just the act of it,
His work perhaps.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and of course the mask is on the camera,
Right.
which is a very cool filter look,
Like the eye holes.
yeah. And so from there, little Michael is just outside, and his parents arrive, and they're kind of just like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
They see a knife in his hand, very large knife.
The knife was huge.
Yeah.
The knife was very, very big, and yeah, it does that kind of like freeze frame kind of thing, but it's not really a freeze frame
where they're not frozen. They're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
still kind of moving, but they're still I don't know, like in
It's
shock,
just like
but no
it's
words.
just
are being
panning
said.
out to like a wider view.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah.
You're probably wondering how I got here.
So it's very, very cool opening scene there. And we get the Halloween opening credit scene, which is very iconic, sets the
Yeah.
tone with the music and everything. I really love that. And I saw a thing that they were going to choose a different opening credit scene where like Lori and that young kid that she babysits is walking down the street. And I believe that's still in the movie. Like
So
the
they
very
just restructured it.
They restructured
Okay.
it, and that was going to be originally the opening scene there with the credits rolling, but they changed it to that classic pumpkin
Yeah.
carving, and then just the credits rolling from there, and then also his composed score of the movie. Very, very cool
Yeah.
way to start the movie. I think this. I mean, this doesn't need to really be said, but the music for this movie really just elevates everything, in my opinion. Literally everything.
Yeah.
And from there, we get to experience some cool stuff. So then we see Lori, Jamie Lee Curtis's character, and she's a babysitter. She has to take this key over to the Myers house because that's her dad is he like
Like a realtor, I guess.
Yeah, real estate agent.
So
And
they're selling the house. She needs to drop off a key because I guess there's like, I don't know, they're gonna be showing some people the house, which
she's
is
doing
hilarious.
this before school, correct?
Right.
So,
Yeah. So she's on her way to school and she's walking with little Tommy.
Yeah, little Tommy sees her and just starts, saying hi and stuff, being very very kid like. When she heads towards the house, he even makes like a quick thing of like saying like don't go in there, and she's like, I have to go in here, I have to drop off the key or whatever.
That's the Myers house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, we see he's in there. Spooky, man.
Kind of just get like you can kind of see like his silhouette a little bit behind that door.
I believe his
And
breathing
the breathing
too.
for sure. Yeah,
Breathing
that's a
is
staple
throughout.
of this movie for sure.
Yeah, the breathing honestly got me every time. It was just like it's weird, man.
Creepy,
Just
man. Yeah.
From there, we get her just going to school and then talking with her friends and whatnot. It seems to me like within her friend group, she is the most stable, and I don't know. She's very smart, obviously
She's
in
very,
class.
yeah, she's very shy.
Yeah.
Kind of the most conservative girl, you know what I mean? She doesn't really talk to boys. She's a smart girl too.
Good head on her shoulders.
Focuses on her schoolwork and stuff. Yeah.
And well, we immediately in class when she's looking out the window and she notices like the car teacher interrupts her and like kind of quizzes her, and she answers correctly, but then when she looks back, the car's gone.
Right.
So
Well, with Michael, I do want to point out too, he's credited as the Shape in the credits.
Oh.
So it's not Michael Myers, it's the Shape.
Mm.
And I always thought that was really cool because he is like this silhouette that just exists. And when he's standing out there, that shot in particular, so iconic when she looks out there and has to almost double take, like, is that a dude just standing there, like staring at me across the street even? And then looks back and he's gone. I mean, immediately to her, like, how are you supposed to process that? Like, what? I swear I just saw someone there.
Well, I think it's really cool how that's the first time you see his face or the mask.
With the mask, yeah.
Because every other time before that, it's, when he's walking, following Tommy through the fence, it's cut off at his neck.
Oh, right, yeah.
I did skip over a very important scene. Was after the opening credits scene was when we see the Loomis and the nurse pull up to the loony bin, and raining, dark, the gates close and whatnot. And they're obviously the nurse is already like, what's going on? She sees the patients out there and she's just like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Loomis goes out there, like, open the gate, whatever. And the nurse is in the car. We see Michael get on top of the car. He steals the car. He tries to kill her. She kind of gets out of that.
Yes.
I noted that this guy immediately just knows how to drive off. Now, I got to imagine this guy doesn't know how to drive, but it would have been kind of funny, kind of cool to see him kind of like struggle a little bit starting the car or whatever.
What was funny is when we were watching it and you pointed that out, right? This was before. So you've seen this movie, but this is the first time you've like properly seen it.
I've
like,
seen bits and
down.
pieces as a kid. I never really watched it in its entirety until now. Like I gave it a proper watch for the first time. So yeah, this is essentially my first time having watched it.
I thought it was funny that you pointed that out right away. And I was thinking, does he know that later on that plot point, even for a brief moment, it comes up like, how did he know how to drive? Because he's been institutionalized since he was a small child. How did he know how to drive a standard transmission car? Like just like without any struggle. And you pointed that out right away. I was like, oh, that's funny that he noticed that. Like that's something that you even processed in the moment. So kind of funny that way. But I was like, okay, well, they'll kind of touch on that.
And so yeah, we see him escape, and that's where we kind of get back into where Loomis finds the car that the mechanic was in, and I don't think he sees the guy in the bushes, but
yeah,
he stole
just straight up a dead body.
He's not wearing his loony bin clothes anymore, and he's got the mechanic outfit. And so back to where we were.
Fits just right.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. Fit.
Good fit. Huge dude.
Poor guy. He was taking him. He's like, that looks about my size. I think I could probably. Oh yeah, look at that.
Kill for his outfit. The
coveralls are perfect.
So then we get Lori like throughout the day, like talking with her friends, like what they were gonna do that night, because now it's Halloween night, and she's basically, they're just having fun, and she's saying that she has to babysit, and her friends they have certain plans and everything, right? And that's when Michael this whole time is just staking her out though. Throughout the movie, obviously, but we get those scenes of him like by the bushes, by the clotheslines and everything.
Dude,
it's just him standing there, and it's freaky, you know.
And people, they're like you were saying, they're not even sure what they're like, if they're, because he's gone right away.
Yeah, and it's really Lori seeing all this, and she's noticing everything. Like she knows what she's seeing, but she is also questioning when her friend goes over the bushes and he's not there anymore, and she's like, I could have sworn I saw some.
Just on the bush scene,
yeah,
I just was internally laughing so hard at the thought of him just sprinting down that alley.
Oh yeah, me too. No, I was like, how does he do
even
it?
him outside the window and then getting in the car and like having to peel out. You know, like oh shit, okay, she saw me. I have to make my escape now.
Well, and I noted too when he was driving, and you see him when Loomis is talking to the sheriff. And he's like coming up to like the stop sign of the intersection, and he's looking left and right, you know? And it's just like, well, yeah, that's how you drive. But it's just like funny thinking like he's in full mask mode, like full Michael Myers mode, and this guy's like properly driving. You know, it's just hilarious.
Something you pointed out to me too that I've always kind of taken note but never really acknowledged was the fact that a lot of this, you know, I mean, him staking her out and like stalking her is in broad daylight.
Yeah.
And like he'll be in full
night or day.
And just watching her.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's horrifying that no one else is seeing this because he's just like in plain sight. That's what makes him scary to me.
See, that was a big thing for me too, was I think that's what makes him very terrifying, is like, it doesn't matter if it's day. You know, I feel like, you know, most things you kind of assume like, oh, all the freaky stuff, all the freaks come out at night, right?
Yeah, horror movies, if it's daytime, most of the time,
you're safe during the day.
You can kind of take a breather for a sec. This movie doesn't give you that
with
time
Michael,
to breathe.
dude. He's on the prowl any moment he gets. So throughout the day, we see her friends and Lori kind of discussing what their plans were going to be that night. Lori gets dropped off at Tommy's house, correct? Because he's babysitting, or she's babysitting.
Yeah.
Her house is just across the street. What's her name?
Her friend Annie.
Yeah.
She's babysitting Lindsay Wallace.
That's right.
And she lives right across the street from Tommy. So they're right across the street.
And then as that's happening, Michael's was tailing them, and he just kind of pulls forward.
Yeah.
And at this point, it is night. The parents to little girl, you just said her,
Lindsay Wallace.
And they head out for the night. So he kind of
see, that's a creepy shot too, like where he's right behind that
watching everything.
Like he's like behind that tree.
Oh yeah,
but like
she's right there.
It's so dark aside from the porch light that he can just stand there and watch them a little bit. Yeah, he kind of like goes behind the tree a little bit, but like he's just this figure that you wouldn't see otherwise. Again, the shape. He's almost like a shadow. That's horrifying to me. That he's watching. He's just like this spectator of all
Yeah.
of this until he has, you know, the opportunity to strike, I guess.
And that's where we see is where things get interesting from here on out. Annie is trying to go to pick up her boyfriend, I guess. She's trying to find the keys and she goes back into the house. She essentially gets the keys, goes to the car. Well, it was previously unlocked now, but she doesn't notice. I know we had mentioned while we were watching how fogged up the car is.
Well, because even Annie's kind of touching the window, like, what the fuck? Why is it so foggy?
Yeah.
You know, she's like touching the window and it's Michael's hot ass breath.
Oh, yeah.
Under the mask. He was chilling in the back.
He couldn't have been in there for that long.
No, because she literally just goes back in the house and grabs the keys, goes back in, and already fogged up the whole car, which is hilarious. But
and he just pops up out of nowhere in the back seat.
Yeah.
Starts choking her, slices her. Her death was pretty bad.
Bad death scene.
Terrible death scene.
She
honestly
bleeds out.
Her friends were pretty bad actors.
We talked about this as far as performances. Like, this movie is not winning any Oscars.
We'll get into that later. But to continue, I believe that's when little Tommy notices a boogeyman outside, and he's kind of screaming at Lori to kind of like take notice too, but she's kind of brushing it off. And then that's when we get a little later on of the friends coming over to Lindsay's house.
Linda and Bob.
Yeah, and they're in there. They start fooling around upstairs. The guy heads downstairs, and that's when we get his death of just pure strength from Michael, just picking this guy up, choking him with one arm, pinning him to the wall with the stab,
working him,
and he's just pinned there. Like, that's crazy. He's got incredible workout plan.
Into the pantry door, pinned him through with a fucking like kitchen knife. Crazy, dude.
And then now he kind of trolls throughout the movie, but now he's really trolling. He puts on a bed sheet with glasses on. And he's obviously not saying a word. And her friend Linda's
he's posing as Bob. He took his glasses,
and she's like, you know, stop messing around, this and that. And he's just not moving, not talking. And then he eventually just goes up to her, and then that's when she calls Lori, and that's when he starts strangling her, and she's yelping for help, which again, that was a bit goofy in my opinion too. And Lori's like, what the hell is going on? She thinks she's fooling around with her boyfriend and this and that, I think. Yeah. You know, that's what I got from it. And so goes Linda, and that's when Lori gets the idea to head over to Lindsay's house to check it out. You know,
she saw the a light turn off over there, so she knows someone's there because she called, no one answered, but she saw the light turn off, and she also sees Bob's van outside, so she knows, oh well, Bob and Linda are probably there. Yeah. Maybe Annie went to go pick up Paul, but like, she should be there too. Why is no one answering the phone? I'm gonna go check it out. So
she does check it out, goes upstairs, and immediately sees Michael's sister's
tombstone,
tombstone on the bed. Well, I believe that was
Annie,
right?
Annie
laid out on the bed. Obviously, she's immediately freaked out.
Like he had like stripped the bed too.
Yeah, he'd kind of like pulled the covers off too and just like put her there.
Presented it in his way.
He put it
like a presentation.
Set this up. It's
literally
disgusting.
Knowing, like, I think he knew that Lori was gonna check it out.
Right.
That's when we see her knowing where the other two are, and Bob is swinging down from like the closet or something.
Linda's stuffed in like a cabinet in there.
Obviously, she's immediately freaked out. That's when Michael comes out of the woodworks, and she's like frantic, and then that's when we get that great shot.
She like slides down the wall.
Yeah. She's like so distraught, she like can't even stand.
And that's when we get the great shot of Michael just appearing like just out of the darkness, you know, and just you kind of see like half of his face. Yeah. Crazy. That's a good shot.
Fucking like masterful shot. It looks so good. It's so iconic. It is like so beautifully done.
I gotta imagine you can't see out of that mask all too well, because when he slices Lori, he like just kind of cuts her shoulder. Yeah, you know, and she falls off the edge of the second story. Yeah, down the stairs. Crazy fall to just wear that and get up. Adrenaline's a hell of a thing, huh?
Not even down the stairs, over the edge of this, like on the other end of the staircase, and just falls straight down.
I don't know how you don't break your neck.
Yeah,
there.
That would like paralyze you.
Incredible. And she goes out there, obviously screaming. She's going up to the neighbor's house. She's like trying to just get some help. Crazy that the neighbors are like, they turn on the lights, trying to figure out what's going on outside, and they're like, oh yeah, no, and they just turn off the lights again. And it's like, all right, like I get it. Like, are you gonna, like in that situation, are you gonna open up the door? But it's like, I don't know, man.
It's like you'd think that they would know who that was.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
how
She lived up the
presumably she
street.
probably.
Presumably a small town too.
Yeah, it's a small town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty small community. You would think you know who.
I got work in the
kind of
morning.
is.
I ain't got time for this.
Yeah.
Kids messing around.
It's
Who knows?
Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Halloween night. So she goes back to Tommy's house, tries to get those kids like
Well, and he's walking behind her.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's approaching her in his slow walk.
very slow.
Right.
It's like, it's that whole time is like the videos that you'll see like of you trying to get in before the killer gets you, right? That's all that is throughout the movie. But it's funny to
Why
see,
was it
actually
so
see that in
hard for
play.
her to open a freaking door to get out of that house in the first place? And she had to break the window.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael set this up.
Okay.
There was a rake or something. It had the door handle jammed, and she
Oh.
broke through it and hit it off to the side. I actually thought that for the longest time because I was like, "Bro, what is happening? You're in the inside."
Because she
if it's
tried to
locked.
open the front door or something first, and that one didn't open either.
So he had jammed it. He set this up for her. He set a trap for her. So he actually was very intentional about it to give her some kind of credit.
Yeah.
So we get her gathering the kids and telling them to head upstairs, pretty much just hide. That's when she's like kind of looking out the window and stuff, and Michael just barges in through
the phone isn't working.
Oh yeah, the phone's not working.
Can't call the cops.
He barges in and starts attacking her. Not before he stabs her or stabs Michael in the neck with like what was it, like a sewing needle?
Yeah. And got him right in the neck.
Goes down momentarily, and she kind of just like needs a break too, I guess. It's a lot of stuff that just happened.
There's a lot of her taking him down and like, okay, she'll drop the weapon she just had, and also just kind of like she's so overwhelmed she'll kind of take a nap.
Take a nap. All right, we're back to it. Oh boy,
that really took it out of me.
And as she's going upstairs to kind of get the kids and like, hey, like we're good now or whatever. Well, he's heading up the stairs now. He's back. He's back, baby. She's like telling the kids to go away. She hides in the closet. Not a very good space because she's like also freaking out too in there. So it's like, okay, you're not really, doing a whole lot there. He starts breaking it very slowly, by the way. When he was like trying to open it, it was a little too long in my opinion because he was breaking doors left and right, no problem. But this one, he kind of takes it as he's trolling, bro.
Yeah, I've always taken him like kind of playing with his food a little bit.
Yeah, that's how I took it too.
Where
He's
it's almost like he could rip these doors off their
Yeah.
hinges if he wanted to. But like he's almost fucking with her a little bit. Yeah.
So when he breaks in, she's like trying to figure out what to do. She grabs a hanger, stabs this dude in the neck.
I think she gets him right in the eye.
Or the eye, right?
Yeah, stabs him right in the eye hole.
Well, he goes down again. Yeah. Goes down again.
Drops the knife.
Yeah, that's right. When he's down, she thinks it's over again. Gathering the kids, and she's just telling them like, go to the neighbor's house, right?
Tell him to call the
back
cops.
is turned the entire time. Yeah, he's on the floor, but obviously as an audience, never turn your back to the killer, man. Especially if you aren't that sure. We see him do his classic, iconic sit up. Incredible strength there. It was very, very smooth.
Is nuts.
I gotta imagine someone was holding his feet down at the end of that.
That's what you were saying.
Because the shot was like you couldn't see his feet.
His feet.
I gotta imagine someone was down there laying down and just like holding his feet so he can do that sit up.
Yeah,
very cool. And then obviously, we get her the last altercation that he tries to get Lori. Sure enough, we have Loomis. Being a hero over here. He was down the street waiting at Michael's house, but he comes to and sees the car that Michael had been driving. He goes in the house, into Tommy's house with his gat. Comes up there, saves the day, shoots this guy, gets blown back.
Yeah, that first shot is hilarious.
When he heads in the room, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's just standing there. He's breathing. And he just pops the rest of the clip into him.
Yeah.
Wears it, falls off the second story balcony, and it's presumably over until Loomis checks over the balcony. He's not there.
Vanished into the night.
He's vanished. And Loomis is like, well, shit. And pretty much end of the movie there.
Yeah, no, that's the end of the movie right there. That's Halloween.
That's Halloween.
If you haven't seen it before, which would be nuts. Like literally stop what you're doing.
Well, now you don't need to because you just heard it all.
Yeah.
But actually, go check it out if you haven't. It'd be weird if you hadn't checked it out and you're already here at this point. But what do we think of this? Do you guys think this movie holds up in today's kind of horror and new technology and stuff? Like, do you think it still keeps that heavyweight classic tone of a slasher?
I think without the score. I think the score does so much for this movie and kind of helps it transcend time a little bit. But there's the things with like the sound design, like the stabbings, and doesn't sound as like
he's breathing.
Yeah, but I meant more like the stabbings are more that's like 70s stuff because it's not as like
it's not as punchy. It definitely.
It's just like a thud.
It's almost like realistic in that way.
Yeah,
like it wouldn't really make a noise,
right?
But like cinematically, it doesn't really add a whole lot,
right? But yeah, I mean, I still got scared watching this on my own. Like I think this is what slasher horror.
You texted us when you were starting the movie, and your lights were still on. Did you end up turning them off or not?
No, I didn't turn that lamp off, but that lamp was like a timing lamp.
But that was a conscious decision not to turn it off.
Well, I wasn't
right?
like I wasn't gonna turn it off.
You weren't gonna turn it off, right?
But I will say it was on a timer and it like turned off halfway through the movie, and I was like, well, guess I'm lights off now.
We watched it in the pitch black. And we had a good time with it. Again, this movie to me, like I had stated earlier, this is my favorite horror movie of all time. This one, in terms of standing the test of time, yeah, without a doubt, it does. I mean, the fact that we're talking about it today, nearly 50 years later, and the fact that it's like this staple in not only horror cinema, but cinema as a whole, yeah, it stands the test of time. And I think what they were able to do, budgetary and whatnot, it's so impressive. I think there's so many things cinematically that shows the chops that specifically John Carpenter has behind the camera as a writer, composer, this trifecta that he kind of revolutionized in that way, especially for the subgenre, that I don't think anyone else can really touch. John Carpenter to me is one of my favorite directors of all time. And I think this movie shows why. I don't think I really need to describe it a whole lot. I mean, again, if you don't know the movie, that blows my mind. But like, if you do, you know what I'm talking about. It's so like, it feels very focused. It feels like someone who just knew exactly what they wanted to do. And even with the constraints at hand, was able to persevere and make something that they wanted.
Yeah.
So that's what I would have to say about it, as far as it holding up by today's standards.
So, I mean, I mentioned in our last Spook-TACULAR, The Barbarian, go watch it. I'm not a horror person. I don't watch too many, I don't have too many under my belt, having seen any of them, but just pure like filmmaking and stuff, and what it made me feel. Yeah, I gotta say, it's for the time, like incredible stuff. Like you mentioned, the budget and everything, like incredible. Like it's very good, like filmmaking for everything considered. Again, not having much to compare to its other movies of that
era.
Yeah, that era.
It's contemporaries.
Yeah. I think it holds up too. I do want to get into what you guys think, like what you guys feel as though was the scariest moment and or scene in the movie.
I think for me, probably what I think a lot of people would consider maybe the scariest or most iconic. I guess there's a few, and it's really hard to choose like a single one, because I'm like, there's the shot where he emerges from the dark. I think that's such a masterclass in lighting that I think you miss a lot these days, especially with the technology that we have. And I think cameras don't really capture the darkness correctly. But then there's also when he's standing outside of the bushes, the hedges. That's fucking crazy to me. That every time I watch that scares the shit out of me, because it is broad daylight, like we talked about. It's so unexpected, and he's just there, full body, nothing distorting him or anything, or even Laurie's vision of what she is seeing. It is a dude in coveralls and the mask standing there, plain as day. It is horrifying. That to me is probably the scariest moment.
Yeah, I think for me, the scariest like sequence was when he kills Bob and to when he's got the sheet over his head. Like the way he opens that door and just lets her talk to him, and he's just standing there, and it's just Michael Myers just being, and like the way she more like realizes like, what the heck, like why isn't Bob talking to me? But I think this, when he kills Bob and I think that shot where it's looking down that hallway at them, he's just like looking up at it and just like, kind of like admiring it. I think that is very creepy. And just watching this, like, what is kind of going to what Loomis says the whole time, is like, there's nothing behind this guy's eyes but evil. And just like, what's going through his head when he's just looking at him, just just like, just did that.
That's a great pick. I love that.
But and also I think that, as goofy as him shaking the I think that was probably genuinely terrifying for Jamie Lee Curtis to film.
Probably, yeah.
I was thinking like I would be terrified if I was filming that and I know that once that opens I'm just gonna see Michael Myers coming to kill me. I'd be freaking out.
Well,
trying to film
it's
that.
kind of like her mother. There was something on set with within her mom in Psycho, like shower scene and stuff, very traumatizing for her, I believe.
Yeah,
Could be wrong on that,
I don't think she was able to take showers or like without it open anymore.
It's funny because like even if you've never seen Psycho, you know that scene. I feel like through some sort of pop culture media. I mean, it's iconic in its own right, obviously, and like having those kind of almost parallels between mother and daughter and these two different films, I think is so creative, and it's so like it's crazy that those are the two of many, but in terms of slasher media specifically, where like they're able to capture that feel of like pure vulnerability, especially like in the shower scene in Psycho. Like it's like you're in a shower, you're at your most vulnerable. You know what I mean? But this also, her being on the verge of that and being able to fight back. I think this kind of revolutionized it. This has to be like the first movie that ever did the final girl trope in slasher media, right? Like she is the final girl. It's so cool to me. But Tanner, what was the scariest scene to you?
I'd have to agree with you. Were the scenes where he's just standing by the bushes and the clotheslines, particularly like those two, like to me were just like freaky, man. This dude in broad daylight, just stalking his prey, his next victim, and he knows that like Laurie's like the only one that's like noticing this,
right?
And he's just gone within a moment's notice of them looking back and, oh, he's not there anymore. That to me is like pretty spooky, along with his breathing every so often. Some of them can get a little funny just because of how long it runs. But I think overall, though, like that was a good touch. And I did appreciate that for the fear factor within it.
I also think that the sequence between him first going over to Annie and before I couldn't remember how he killed her. And so that whole time I'm watching when she's in the laundry room.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, it's about to happen. He's about to, and then he's like messing with her, like pulling the door in. Oh my gosh, dude, that was getting me like riled up and just spooked. I hated that.
Yeah.
Just that anticipation where you're like, oh, like the camera work. You're like, oh, as soon as she goes this way and it flips back, he's going to be right behind her.
Oh, she gets stuck in the window.
Yeah.
Oh,
right, yeah, that's where it's gonna happen.
Prime opportunity to attack.
Yeah.
Also, the way he kills that dog. How did they film that?
Dude, I thought the same thing because the dog goes limp.
Yeah.
How did they do that?
I have no idea.
Better not have killed the dog.
Really crazy, actually.
Also, eats a dog.
A dog. Good lord.
He doesn't have money.
Also,
I guess,
crazy that Annie just like spills on herself, just strips right in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's like, all right. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of goofy shit in this movie, but
before we head on to scores, I did want to mention like Loomis and him just prefacing to the chief, saying like how dangerous Michael is, and like, dude, we got to take care of this guy. Like, there's no messing around. This guy is pure evil. We have to do something about him. And the chief is kind of like, all right, buddy, kind of thing. But he's also like, all right, well, I'll tell the rest of the police force pretty much, and we can see if we can get this guy. And Loomis is like, no. And like, he's like, wait, well, what do you want, man? Like, you want me to help you out? And he's like, I got to do it. He wanted to do it himself.
Not too much help.
Like, I think he knew how dangerous he was, but he kind of, to me, it felt like he may have felt like a little responsible for him just because he knows him the best.
Right.
And knows what he's capable of. And he just kind of wanted to take care of things himself. And I thought that was kind of interesting, but also a little, I guess, irresponsible.
For sure.
Like, because it's like, well, I get it. You know, you don't want to make a whole deal out of it. And if you have the, whole police force after this guy, like it's the talk of the town. Now you're going to get people freaked out. Michael might be aware of them looking for him and maybe like be harder to find. So he wants to capture him at his house because he knows he'll be back there. But I just felt like he could have got a little more help on that.
Loomis is a very interesting character throughout this entire franchise that I've always loved. Shout out Donald Pleasance, by the way. Like, I love Donald Pleasance and his performance because it's so unhinged. And the other movies, like the sequels and stuff, is fucking, times 100. This guy's nuts. Also, Donald Pleasance, he's a longtime collaborator with John Carpenter too. He's in a few of his other films. He's great. Like he kind of like understands how silly this movie can be, but he also takes it like super seriously, which makes it even sillier sometimes. But like I've always enjoyed that. I just love the way Loomis kind of comes across as like this dude who just like he's seen the evil that is underneath. He knows what's at stake, but he's also a fucking loon and like he wants to take him down. I don't know. I love Loomis, dude. I don't know. He's just, I mean, he's a mainstay for a reason in this franchise. It's kind of cool.
This is a little off topic, but I just remembered what we saw within the movie, a little unintentional foreshadowing of John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yeah, that's
right there.
Yeah.
It's presented in the movie and as the original The Thing, of course, and it's just cool to see it like 6 years later or something like
on
that.
the TV, right?
Yeah.
I had to look it up because I was like, is he playing his own? I was like, oh,
yeah, that's really cool, huh?
That's
like,
what I always thought.
Thought
Was
that
he
was
playing
really
his own movie, like
Yeah.
the little Easter egg for his own film, but he hadn't made that.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I was like,
I think it was 6 years. I think
it was
it came
82 or 81 as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so it was actually,
So
it was like about
less
4
than
years
six
later.
then,
Yeah.
4 years. Okay. Well, really cool in my
I thought
opinion.
it was
Like,
cool too because I heard The Thing and I was like, oh, I was like,
yeah. Well, I would like to jump into some scores.
Do some scores. Let's do it.
So again, we have our two different scores. We have the pure filmmaking aspect of it, and then we'll head into our spooky score. I picked this movie because I wanted to do a classic horror movie to put on the wheel. It just so happened to get picked. I just wanted it to be just, because I never properly watched it. So I finally wanted to give an excuse to actually watch this thing and put my fears aside from my childhood and see if I could withstand all the horror within it. And gotta say, it does help when I'm watching it with someone else. You know, had I watched it with just by my lonesome, I would have maybe felt a little bit more spooked. And again, I'm probably the worst person to watch a horror movie with because I'm trying my best not to get scared. So I'm talking throughout. I'm just commenting throughout each scene pretty much, and it's probably so annoying. But either way, I made it through. And to me, this, again, to consider when this was made, the budget involved, I gotta say, dude, it was fantastic, all considered. But there were a lot of things that I felt strongly against with, honestly, just the acting throughout. I thought Jamie Lee Curtis put it on. She was fantastic. She's the big standout for me, obviously. And yeah, she did really good. Loomis was good and bad. I thought he had great moments. Yeah. And then there were some where he just was a little over the top for me, where again, it didn't like really hinder it, but like if I'm actually critiquing it, I gotta say it was a bit much at times. But her friends and everybody else I thought were very lackluster. And I gotta say they probably were very inexperienced considering their age too. They were probably very young. So maybe not much under the belt. But again, what John had to work with, I thought was good for it. But there were certain things that I felt strongly against. But yeah, I got to say, I'll probably give this, I think I'll give this a solid 7.
Is that your filmmaking?
That's my filmmaking,
score?
yes.
Okay.
My spooky score. Gotta say, maybe my expectations for this were a bit much. I wasn't as scared, and I think there are certain things that like kind of took me out just observing it. Like, you know, again, his trolling throughout the movie kind of took me out. Like, honestly, him under the sheet took me out. I was laughing during that scene. Yeah. Certain kills, like the way they died, pretty bad. Again, I gotta say, it didn't really scare me a whole lot. I gotta say, I'm gonna give the spooky score 6.5.
Okay.
Didn't scare me as what I kind of was hoping for in a way, but either way, it was a good film. I did enjoy it, and thank you, John. We'll probably review it, definitely at least The Thing, and hopefully more movies of his. I mean,
hey, we got a poster up there for.
We got the poster up there for a reason. Derrick,
First of all, great take, very valid take too, and I understand why you wouldn't necessarily be as scared of this as maybe a lot of other people, or whatever. I think, in by today's standards, yeah, there's stuff out there that is more disturbing, more disgusting, more whatever, might get that kind of visceral reaction from a person in terms of what scares them. It's different for everybody. And the slasher subgenre to me starts here. I think Halloween is the quintessential slasher. I think Michael Myers is the quintessential slasher villain. And John Carpenter to me is just like I said, he's one of my favorite directors of all time. This movie is my all-time favorite horror movie. I don't think this is anywhere near the scariest movie I've ever seen.
Mhm.
But the fact that it's nearly 50 years old and does legitimately still scare me says a lot. This is still in that realm. It's not at the tippy top, but it does scare me. Filmmaking perspective, though, I think like there's so, again, just having to get as creative as they did with the constraints that they had speaks volumes. And I think it's really, really well done. I think like you can tell that John is a master of his craft. Filmmaking score, I'm going to give it an 8.5. I think it's really impressive. I think like the score, I think, yes, the writing isn't perfect, but I think a lot of it is understated. And I think there is a lot of good writing in there. And shout out, by the way, Deborah Hill, who co-wrote the movie. Spooky score. I'm gonna do an 8.5 actually as well. Only because I think that it does stand the test of time. It might not be the scariest movie ever, but I think that the stuff that sticks with you for a reason, because I think they understand this subgenre really well. So that's what I would go with.
I mean, you had me coming downstairs with you while you went into the garage.
You're gonna expose me like this, yeah. I was. Hey, listen, I was spooked out after, and I literally, this is a yearly rewatch, of course, around this season, and I was like, Tanner, you gotta watch over.
I'm more not trying to expose you, but a compliment to this movie
for
and
sure.
how scary this
100%.
is.
100%. I was like, I can't believe I'm so scared to go in the garage right now by myself. Yeah, dude, really, it spooks me out late at night. I think like shit, Michael could be in my closet.
I love that.
So yeah, Seth, what do you got?
Yeah, I think it's so interesting when you review a movie that's this old.
Their oldest movie that we've
think so.
reviewed,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you asked me in 1978, I might say I might have a rating over a 9 for this. I think a lot of things that if I was putting myself in a moviegoer's shoes, that would have blown me away as like an audience member and would have been able to like look past most of the acting. But there is so much to the point of we have all of this hindsight and subject matter. Like there's so much that you kind of have to make it all lump into the score, because there's so much that doesn't hold up like acting wise, but there's just so much that is very interesting that was made. I was watching it and it's been forever since I watched it, but like, wait, this is actually like a good movie. You know, most horror movies I see now, like especially slasher stuff, like it's just like they're just trying to convey horror, but like some of the stuff in here, some of the shots are like actually like, oh, like this is actually good filmmaking. So with all that being said, I'm gonna land at like an 8.1.
Okay, nice.
Nice.
I do still think that this deserves credit for that, but you know, it is 50 years old, and like I feel bad. Like I feel like I feel like there's gonna be people watching me like, how could you, like this is like the standard, you know? But you gotta weigh it all in,
right? For sure.
But the spooky scale.
Oh yeah, that's why we're here.
This guy is my arch nemesis. All right, I made the mistake of watching this movie in the corner while my brother was watching it at like 8 years old, and he haunted me my entire life. Okay. Let me take the little off your back here, Derrick, because I couldn't go and into the bathroom without opening the shower curtain, because this dude was just lurking. He could always just feel this presence, and he was like my sleep paralysis demon. I'd wake up and I'd see this guy in the corner, bro. So I come into this movie, I'm like, you know what? Screw you, Michael Myers. I'm gonna freaking watch this. I'm gonna face it. And I'm trying to laugh. I'm trying to have my own dialogue to myself throughout it. I was like, I get to the end. I'm like, all right, it wasn't so bad. And then I go back to my room, and I had some trash or something that I needed to take out to the. And I was like, I opened the door, and the hallway is just dark, and I was just like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. I actually don't want to go walk and feel like on my way back to my room after I turned off the last light, I did the hustle.
Oh yeah.
I was like, dude, what is this movie is making me feel like this right now? I was like, so that if your stupid horror movie is gonna make me feel like that after I watch it, it's a 10 out of 10 spook for me.
Nice. Hell yeah.
This dude haunted me my entire life. Faceless masks like that. Yeah. I hate. Just that this dude doesn't ever say anything. He doesn't run. He's just always lurking, and I'm a little stronger now than I was with it, but holy cow, yeah, that guy's gonna Don't haunt me.
See, no, well, you made a good point, because I do want to say, like, within my score, I did want to factor in everything that I know about the films that I've watched now, whether horror or not. And for the time, I think I was talking to you guys about this before. It's almost like comparing different eras of sports, right? And who's better, who's not, this and that. Same thing with like film. Like, well, you know, you have to put in that, you know, years, standards, and everything that they knew of the time. Right. You got to scale, and you kind of like almost factoring in inflation almost, right? Yeah. Like that's kind of how I was trying to consider it. But at the time, like at the same time, like there were a lot of things that I had problems with. But again, knowing the situation and everything, like it, you know, I just want to say that factors into my scoring and everything.
Yeah,
like
for sure. That's fair.
But
that's fair.
Again, it's hard to kind of compare and stuff, eras and whatnot. But that's all I want to say about that. Yeah. But you also made a good point. Like this guy's look, Michael Myers' look, is probably the scariest out of all slashers that I'm aware of. It is just insane. Like it doesn't speak, doesn't do anything, doesn't run. Like there's no urgency. He's just persistent. He's just like this force of nature almost.
And when
right?
it finally gets to you, you're cooked.
Yeah.
Oh, except Lori. Unless you're Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah. Because she kind of worked him. But same, I guess Loomis did too a little bit. But yeah, I gotta say, I gotta appreciate the look. It's so iconic, and it is this scariest looking look.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate that. Do you guys have anything else?
I think that'll do it.
Send it off to Dean. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching our another Spook-Tacular special. Hopefully we can sprinkle in a couple more horror movies throughout, you know, the year before we get into another October next year, right? But don't know if we'll be dressed up for those ones. But either way, thank you for watching. See us back. We have Ex Machina after this, so be ready for that. And of course, like and subscribe.
Let us know if you like
Dean
their costumes.
Yeah, come on, we're dressed up here. What do you got for us?
Come
on. Are these
Drop
at
us
least
some
something?
candy. Give us some
candy. I'm in a suit here. Come on. Well, thanks for watching. Dean, take us away, baby.
Hey, fans and subscribers of Backseat Filmmaking. Thank you, viewers, for watching. You need to like, subscribe, comment, and generally don't break bad on the comments, all right? Because I'm going to, like, kick your butt, all right? You don't want the DE after your ass. So do all that and support Backseat Filmmaking.